Hey everybody, welcome back to the Airsoftology Monday Q&A show where we answer your questions, and we being me. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and that's right. If this is your first time here, or your 20th or 100th time, or actually 146th time, because that's the number of the videos we put out. If you believe it, that's a lot of videos. Welcome to the show. How it works is super simple. You put a question in the comment section below this video or a previous video, and I dig through those every single week, and I get your question on the show. Real quick before we jump into questions, every week I kind of give a little update, and this week I want to let you guys know what's happening this week for me and what's coming up next week. So the big news this week is this weekend I will be at the Oregon Airsoft Arena on Sunday. That is June the 4th, Sunday, June 4th, and for a big buy-sell trade day. So if you guys are in the Pacific Northwest, in this area, come on out, reach out to the store, give the store a call. The information's on my Facebook page or on their Facebook page as well, and you can get a booth, no charge, set up there if you're just a player. If you're a store, you're going to want to call and make sure for sure. But if you're a player, set up there, free to set up and sell and trade all your used gear. It's great because we all know that Facebook doesn't let you sell stuff on there. So I'd love to come out there and see you guys. Also, I'll be out there getting rid of a bunch of my old stuff and with patches and all kinds of good stuff. And on top of that, it's not just me. This is super cool. Dayton from House Gamers, you know, the cool sniper channel, is coming down also from Canada. He's in Vancouver, Canada, just a few hours north of where I'm at here in Portland, Oregon. And he's going to be there as well. So we're going to have two of us there together. So we're gonna be hanging out, and maybe he'll get some gameplay in while I hold down the table. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. So guys, if you were in the area, definitely come out and visit me. Also, on the heels of that, I'll be heading down to San Francisco to visit Classic Army USA, and then the next day, which that's Monday, then Tuesday, I'm on a plane to Taipei, Taiwan for the Camo Show to show you guys all the cool stuff. Gonna be new releases and all the really neat stuff from Hong Kong and, of course, Taiwanese manufacturers and retailers. So it's gonna be like a SHOT Show, like, flood of videos from me. So super duper excited. Also the G&G World Cup competition. And I know I'll be there. Dayton's going to be there. Nobrich is going to be there. Charlie from G&G. It's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff. All the VFC people. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to get out there. And my buddies at Crytek are going to be there as well. I might try to sneak by their office. I heard they're finishing up the Vector AEG, and I'm going to try to get you guys some behind the scenes video on that as well. Okay, got through all that, and one more thing before we jump into questions. Don't forget, web store is up. I've got patches in there, all kinds of stuff. I've got a few of the Corgis left, of Corgi 1.0, and I've got a bunch of shirts and all kinds of cool stuff in there. So if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely give it a look. It's in links in the description below. So enough of all that. Let's jump on into what you're really here for, and that is your questions in the Tippmann mail call. Tyler E. writes, is spending money on a grenade worth it? Unless you play outside in tall grass all the time with no buildings, absolutely. I find it very frustrating when I go and play a game that has any kind of buildings, or especially CQB indoors, where I don't have some sort of grenade. A tornado impact grenade, a distraction. They've got the new ones. I forget what it's called, that really loud one. Super cool. It's like a distraction device. The cyclones, any of those, the tornadoes, it is very nice to have a grenade of sorts. And if you're playing outside, some of those pyro ones, the new ones from Enola Gay, are awesome. So yes, for me, having a grenade is great. And the reason is sometimes in Airsoft, you have to expose yourself. There is no blind firing. And blind firing is where instead of looking down your sights like this and shooting, you're off to the side and you're kind of pointing down over a barricade and you're shooting people below you. It's not safe because you can't see what you're shooting at. You could be shooting people multiple times in an area that's kind of mean, or let's say their goggles have fallen off and you could be shooting them and you don't know that. You can't see your target. So having a grenade gives you the opportunity to get a kill around a corner without having to expose yourself, which is super, super nice to have, and it saved me many times. Also, grenades can kill multiple people. So when you enter a room with 3 or 4 opponents and they're all staring down at you, you and your pistol or your rifle, you're not going to have the chance really, unless you've got full auto capabilities, which I doubt you do in CQB, to take them all out. But a grenade can do that for you. Reusable ones are nice. They can be expensive, especially you get to the tornadoes where you're looking at almost $100. Cyclones, I think, are around $40 US. And then again, I'm talking about US prices here. And then some of the pyro ones are actually pretty expensive for what they are. You're like $10 a throw or $8 a throw. Boom, it's gone forever because it blows up. So yeah, they can be pricey, but if you're going to invest in this sport, in this hobby, or whatever we play, it is great, especially big Milsim mops, to have that as a tool in the arsenal. Lane Petzold writes, hey Jonathan, do you like polymer or metal mags better? For me, I'm a polymer mag fan, and here is why. I am a big proponent of the EPS, or enhanced polymer, no, the PTS EPMs. There you go. God, all the EP everything for PTS. Enhanced Polymer Magazine is what EPM stands for. That is probably my favorite magazine. Now, it does have a flaw if you overfill it, if you actually fill it up all the way to the orange follower where it has a little window at the bottom that shows you when you fill it all the way up, this little orange follower shows in the window, says, hey, I'm full. If you fill it up all the way to that point, sometimes on some of mine, it's overfull and it's tough. Those first shots kind of jam and fall short. So I like to short load mine by about 8 or 10 rounds. Don't have the problem at all. It's the only flaw with that magazine, just kind of give you guys full disclosure on it. But I do like the polymer magazines. I also like, if I'm going to be running buddy mags, especially ones to give away to friends, big fan of the Elite Force magazines, which are made by Aries. So they're mid-cap package. You can get a 10-pack for relatively cheap, way more cost-effective than the PTS versions of them. What's nice about those are you lose them, you end up losing less money. I'm very careful and cautious about my PTS mags, my enhanced polymer magazines, because they're expensive and I don't want to lose those things. But if I lose one of the Elite Force ones, it's not the end of the world. Yes, it's money, but I'm out maybe $5-6 for one versus like 15 or more for the other. So it's a lot more palatable for me to hand out one of those with my name in Sharpie written on the bottom, like in silver Sharpie, to give it to a teammate and say, hey, I got my buddy mags in my back. Grab one of those. We got to keep fighting. And if I don't get it back, it's not the end of the world. But if I lose one of my PTS ones, I'm kind of upset. That said, the metal mags are great, but they do get more expensive. And at that price point with metal magazines, we're talking about mid caps here, I'm at the price point where I would be buying a PTS mag, and I really like those a lot. Just personal preference. I like those. I like the old, the PTS ones when they were the mag pull days. If you can find the E mags or the P mags, the old ones, they were fantastic. I love those too. So for me, by the time I go up, I think I just like that magazine a lot. When you get into high caps, the new high caps are really good. You don't have to go metal anymore. Like the new ones from VFC are super nice with like the honeycomb pattern on the outside. I say definitely look into those for a high cap if you want a really good high quality high cap, and some other companies have some good ones too. So for me, I'm a big fan of the polymer. That's just kind of my personal opinion because it seems like the best mags these days are coming in polymer to mimic the real ones. Being Keller writes, hey Jonathan, any tips on increasing sidearm accuracy? I have an Elite Force 1911 TAC and a KWA M9 PTP, and I use Elite Force .25 gram Bio BBs, and my shots seem to fly all over the place. Thanks. Okay, so there's a couple ways, and I'm going to address the 1911 because I just got something in here I want to show you guys. But to address accuracy, there's a couple things that could be going on. One, remember, green gas or good CO2, which means you're using the Elite Force or the Umarex brand 12 gram CO2 cartridges, those silver ones, or some of the ASG ones, do have a bit of silicone oil in them, so that can affect your hop-up bucking. Also, some dirt can be in the bucking, so you might want to look at cleaning the barrel, clean the barrel out, that's a big thing, and then of course don't damage the bucking and actually clean them. Also look at your bucking, which is that piece of rubber in there, to make sure there's no tears or problems with it to prevent or cause the BBs to kind of get a little squirrely. Again, remember, you're dealing with a barrel like that long, so accuracy is not going to be great. But in my pistols, there's a couple ways to do it. I run really heavy BBs. .25s for me give me almost the same result that you are getting on your pistol. I tend to go much heavier. I go to .28s or 3.2s or 3.3s, depending on the brand. So like I'm a big fan, kind of toss it between the Milsim Max or the G&G. They're heavyweight bios because I'm using bios more because I go to a lot of Milsim events. So I try to find a good bio and just make that my go-to BB because of the fields I play at. So step up because your pistol engagement is only going to be 50 feet or less. I mean, that's your backup, right? It's not your primary. So you don't need that extra range. You just want a really straight shot in that short distance. So I go as heavy as I can, turn that hop up all the way up to compensate for it, and I get decent range out of it, especially 2.8s, even 3.2s or 3.3s. If you want some more, this is something I'm testing out here. This is the Airsoft Surgeon Red Wolf, their enhanced RE hop-up rubber, and I have not put it in. I'm not endorsing this product yet. I'm just telling you guys that it does exist. This is for the KWC pistols, which is the Elite Force 1911. The KWA should have, the KWA PTP is a really accurate pistol, so just step that BB weight up and make sure that bucking's not full of silicone oil, because you should be getting really good accuracy, and even the Elite Force pistol. But if you want to do a little bit of accuracy increase, I'm going to be looking at this to see if this one is going to do it. It's nice to see that there is an aftermarket option now for a precision bucking, so stay tuned for that on the channel for review here in the next couple weeks. But yeah, for my advice, it's clean that barrel, make sure that bucking doesn't have a lot of oil and grease on it, which can affect the performance of the bucking itself, and weight up those BBs as heavy as you can possibly go and see if you get better results. All right, guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one, since I mentioned him earlier on, I gotta give him some love here later on. It is Dayton with House Gamers, and this one is called They Can't See Me, which is, and I can't say that either, which is sniper gameplay. And what I like about what Dayton does, and I know I've highlighted him here on the channel before, is that little bit of humor he drops in, the little just quirky little Canadian Dayton humor, that funny, snarky kind of bit, but it's kind of aimed at himself more than anything else, and he kind of gives a personality to his rifle. It's kind of hard to describe unless you watch his videos a lot and actually lets his rifle kind of talk a little bit, have a communication with you guys. It's good. Every time his video comes on, I gotta watch him. He's one of my subs. I've been, before I've known him personally, I was watching his channel. I think, and his channel is just absolutely growing like crazy. He's got like almost 200,000 subscribers now and just heading north. And there's a good reason he's growing that fast. I know I usually highlight smaller channels, try to help him grow, but Dayton is just one I really find myself watching all the time, and I don't watch too many YouTube videos these days, especially in the airsoft world, which you would think is different. So anyways, if you guys want to check it out, I mean, obviously the video's been playing here over my shoulder. Give Dayton's channel a look. Check out this video. This is one of the more recent ones. It was just last week it went up, I think like 5 days ago as of this filming, and definitely worth the watch, and all of his other stuff. Mash that sub button over there if you guys like what you see, and tell him I said hey. All right, well, that's it for this week's show. Thank you so much for hanging out here, and thank you for being so cool in the comment section below. Like I said earlier, remember, put your comments below and vote up your favorites and be persistent. I do read them every single week from the week before, and I try to get those repeat ones on the show. So guys, until next week, we're going to be in San Francisco, maybe? I might do a live, semi-live. I might do something with Dayton here. I don't know. We're going to see. Maybe I'm going to mix it up next week's Monday. Do something a little different. Just kind of keep things crazy. But until then, go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.